Stand where you are. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the ground. You are not floating through life, you are standing on it, and life responds only to those who stand with awareness. Strength does not begin in the muscles. It begins in the decision to remain present when discomfort arrives. Most people run from pain, but pain is a teacher that speaks only once. If you ignore it, it leaves. If you listen, it shapes you. You wake up every day carrying two invisible bags. One is filled with excuses, the other with responsibility. Whichever one you pick up first will decide the direction of your life. Excuses feel light in the moment, but they grow heavier with time. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it strengthens your spine, your breath, your mind. The body adapts to what you repeatedly demand of it, and so does your character. You want motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like weather. Discipline is the mountain. It does not move for your emotions. When you train even when you are tired, when you show up even when no one is watching, you carve something deeper than success. You carve trust in yourself. Without that TR, no achievement will ever feel complete. Look at your habits. They are quiet, but they are honest. They tell the truth about who you are becoming. One lazy choice does not ruin you, but repeated lazy choices create a lazy life. One strong action does not transform you, but repeated strong actions create an unbreakable foundation. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your training. The mind will always try to negotiate. It will ask for comfort before effort, reward before sacrifice. Do not argue with it. Observe it like a passing thought, then return to the work in front of you. The present moment is the only place where power exists. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Action happens now, breath by breath, step by step. You say you lack confidence. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build through repeated proof. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, confidence grows. Every time you break one, it weakens. Start with small promises. Wake up when you say you will. Train when you say you will. Speak when truth is required, and remain silent when ego wants attention. Pain will visit you whether you invite it or not. The difference is whether it leaves you broken or refined. When your muscles burn, stay with the breath. When your mind screams to stop, notice that it is still only a voice. You are not the voice. You are the one who listens. Endurance is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to remain calm inside it. You compare yourself to others and feel behind. This comparison poisons progress. There is only your path, your pace, your responsibility. A tree does not rush to grow because another tree is taller. It grows according to its roots and the soil it stands in. Strength built too fast collapses easily. Strength built patiently lasts. Understand this clearly. Comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. Every time you choose ease over effort, you pay with a piece of your future self. But effort pays dividends. It gives you clarity, resilience, and self-respect. When life applies pressure, you will not break because you have trained under heavier weight. Your body is your first temple. If you neglect it, your mind will suffer. If you respect it, your spirit will stabilize. Move daily, breathe deeply, eat with awareness, rest without guilt. Training is not punishment. It is gratitude in motion, a way of saying thank you for the ability to move, to breathe, to be alive. Fear will always sit at the edge of growth. If you wait for fear to disappear, you will wait forever. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action taken while fear watches. Each time you step forward despite fear, fear loses authority. Eventually it still speaks, but you no longer obey. You not need more information. You need more application. Wisdom that stays in the mind is useless. Wisdom expressed through action becomes power. Choose one thing today and do it with full attention. Not 10 things poorly, one thing completely. Depth creates mastery. Mastery creates freedom. When you fail, do not dramatize it. Study it. Failure is feedback without emotion. The moment you attach Shi Heng Yi to it, you stop learning. Adjust your stance, correct your breath, refine your approach, and continue. Progress is rarely loud. It is quiet, repetitive, and often invisible until one day it is undeniable. Your life is shaped in ordinary moments. How you speak to yourself when you are alone. How you act when no reward is promised. How you respond when plans collapse. These moments are training rounds. Treat them with respect. Stand upright. Breathe slowly. Choose discipline over mood. Choose effort over excuse. Choose presence over distraction. Each choice is a strike of the hammer shaping the blade you are becoming, and the blade does not announce itself, it simply cuts clean when the moment demands strength. Discipline is the backbone of any meaningful transformation. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions change without warning. Some days you wake up energized, other days you feel heavy before your feet touch the ground. If your progress depends on how you feel, then your progress will always be unstable. Discipline removes feeling from the equation. It turns action into a decision rather than a debate. When discipline is present, the work gets done whether you feel ready or no. Whether the day feels inspiring or dull. Motivation often arrives after action, not before it. People wait for the perfect mental state, the perfect mood, the perfect time. That waiting slowly erodes potential. Discipline understands a simple truth: action creates clarity. Once you move, once you begin, resistance weakens. The mind stops arguing when the body is already in motion. Discipline is not about forcing yourself harshly. It is about establishing a standard and honoring it without negotiation. Consistency is where discipline proves its value. One intense effort followed by long breaks creates nothing stable. Small, repeated actions shape identity. When you show up every day, even at a reduced capacity, you send a powerful signal to yourself. You prove that you are reliable. This self-trust is more valuable than external validation because it cannot be taken away. Each disciplined action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Discipline also teaches patience. Results rarely appear on schedule. The body, the mind, and life itself move at their own pace. Without discipline, impatience turns into frustration, and frustration turns into quitting. Discipline allows you to continue, even when progress feels invisible. It keeps you rooted when the excitement fades. Those who succeed are not those who feel motivated the longest, but those who remain disciplined the longest. There is discomfort in discipline, but it is a chosen discomfort. This choice gives it meaning. Temporary discomfort protects you from long-term regret. Skipping the work may feel good for a moment, but it leaves a quiet dissatisfaction that accumulates. Discipline, on the other hand, may feel demanding in the moment, but it leaves peace afterward. You know you did what needed to be done. That peace strengthens the mind. Discipline simplifies life. When your standards are clear, decisions become easy. You no longer waste energy deciding whether to act. The decision has already been made. This conserves mental energy for execution, creativity, and problem solving. Indecision drains more energy than effort ever will. Discipline removes unnecessary chaos and replaces it with structure. Self-respect grows from discipline. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your internal voice becomes stronger and calmer. You stop seeking approval because you already know your worth through your acti. Discipline teaches you that you are capable of more than your excuses suggest. It builds quiet confidence, not loud arrogance. Others may not notice immediately, but your presence changes. Discipline is also freedom. At first, structure feels restrictive. Over time, it creates space. A disciplined body moves with ease. A disciplined mind focuses without strain. A disciplined life handles press, sure without collapse. Without discipline, life controls you. With discipline, you choose your direction. This freedom is earned, not given. When challenges arise, motivation often disappears. Discipline remains. It holds you steady during chaos. It reminds you that progress is not about comfort, but commitment. The disciplined person does not wait for conditions to improve. They improve themselves, regardless of conditions. This adaptability is strength. Discipline is not perfection. You will fail at times. What matters is returning to the standard without self-punishment. Discipline includes accountability without cruelty. You correct your course and continue forward. This resilience is what separates growth from stagnation. In the end, discipline is an act of self-respect practiced daily. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure, responsibility over excuse, action over hesitation. It is the quiet force that shapes potential into reality through repeated intentional effort. Presence is the foundation of self-mastery. Without it, effort scatters and strength leaks away. Most people live divided between memories they cannot change and futures that do not yet exist. Their bodies are in one place while their minds drift elsewhere. In that divided state, power is weak. Presence gathers that power back into a single point. When attention returns to the breath, the body, and the moment, control becomes possible. The mind constantly produces noise. Thoughts appear without permission, demanding attention, judgment, reaction. Presence does not mean stopping these thou. It means no longer being dragged by them. When you observe instead of react, space is created. In that space, choice appears. Self-mastery begins the moment you realize you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your impulses, but the awareness behind them. Breath is the simplest anchor to presence. It is always available and always honest. When breath becomes shallow, tension is present. And when breath is calm and deep, the mind follows. By returning to the breath during stress, you interrupt panic before it controls behavior. This is not weakness, it is precision. Those who control their breath control their reactions, and those who control their reactions control outcomes. Presence sharpens discipline. When attention is fully on the task, effort becomes efficient. You waste less energy resisting the work and more energy executing it. Even difficult actions feel lighter when done with full attention. Distraction multiplies difficulty. Presence reduces it. One focused hour is worth many distracted ones. Mastery is built through depth, not scattered effort. Emotions often feel overwhelming because they are resisted or ignored. Presence allows emotions to be felt without being obeyed. When anger arises, you notice it in the body instead of acting it out. When fear appears, you feel its sensations without letting it decide your behavior. Emotions move like waves. If you remain present, they rise and fall without drowning you. If you resist or fight them, they gain strength. Presence also reveals truth. Many mistakes are repeated because they are never fully observed. When you act unconsciously, patterns stay hidden. When you slow down and stay present, behavior becomes visible. You notice triggers, habits, and reactions as they happen. Awareness turns unconscious patterns into conscious choices. This is real change. In conflict, presence is strength. While others react impulsively, presence keeps you grounded. You listen without preparing a response. You speak without emotional charge. This calm unsettles chaos. Control over self creates influence over situations. Presence allows you to respond rather than react, and response is always more powerful than reaction. Physical training is a powerful teacher of presence. When the body is under strain, the mind has nowhere to escape. Every repetition demands attention. Every movement requires awareness. Is why training builds mental strength alongside physical ability. The body teaches the mind how to stay when discomfort appears. That skill transfers to every area of life. Presence also deepens resilience. When difficulties arise, the mind often jumps to worst-case scenarios. Presence pulls attention back to what is actually happening now. Most problems are manageable in the present moment. Become overwhelming only when combined with imagined futures. By staying present, you deal with reality one step at a time, reducing unnecessary suffering. Relationships improve through presence. When you are fully present with another person, they feel seen. Listening becomes an act of respect. Conversations gain depth. Misunderstandings reduce. Presence removes ego from interaction and reply. Sees it with clarity. This does not require agreement, only attention. Presence does not mean passivity. It means clear action rooted in awareness. When you are present, decisions are cleaner. You see options without distortion. You act without hesitation. Doubt fades because attention is not split. This decisiveness builds confidence through repeated proof. Life unfolds only in the present moment. The past shapes lessons. The future shapes direction. But power exists only now. Presence is returning to that power again and again. Each time you notice distraction and return, strength increases. This practice refines the mind, steadies the emotions, and anchors action in reality. Discomfort is not an obstacle to growth, it is the doorway. Every meaningful transformation demands that you step in to sensations you would rather avoid. The body resists, the mind complains, and instinct searches for escape, yet within that resistance lies the exact pressure needed to reshape you. Comfort preserves who you are. Discomfort creates who you can become. Pain is often misunderstood. It is treated as an enemy when it is actually information. It signals limits, weaknesses, and areas that require utter. When you avoid pain, you avoid understanding yourself. When you face it with awareness, it teaches precision. You learn where your edges are and how to expand them without breaking. Growth happens not by reckless force, but by attentive exposure. Fear appears whenever you approach the unknown. This fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are standing at the boundary of your current identity. Staying within familiar limits feels safe, but safety without challenge slowly erodes capability. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move while fear watches. Each time you act despite fear, its authority weakens. Discomfort trains the nervous system. When you stay calm under pressure, your capacity expands. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. This adaptation is both physical and mental. Muscles strengthen through strain, and the mind stabilizes through challenge. Avoidance keeps sensitivity high. Exposure builds tolerance. Over time, you realize that many things you feared were survivable all along. Effort reveals character. When conditions are easy, everyone appears capable. When conditions are harsh, truth emerges. Discomfort strips away performance and exposes discipline, patience, and integrity. This is why difficult situations accelerate growth. They force you to confront habits, reactions, and excuses that comfort keeps hidden. There is a difference between destructive pain and constructive struggle. Growth requires discernment. Constructive struggle is chosen, measured, and purposeful. It pushes without damaging. Destructive pain is chaotic and ignored until it causes injury. Awareness allows you to distinguish between the two. You learn to respect pain without surrendering to it. When discomfort arises, the mind creates stories to escape it. It exaggerates difficulty, predicts failure, and searches for justification. Observing this pattern weakens it. The sensation itself is often simpler than the story attached to it. When you stay with raw experience rather than mental commentary, discomfort becomes less threatening. It is just sensation moving through the body. Resilience is built in moments of voluntary hardship. When you choose effort without immediate reward, you strengthen internal resolve. This resolve becomes a shield during unavoidable hardship. Life will apply pressure whether you prepare or not. Try. Ning under chosen difficulty equips you to handle unexpected adversity with stability. Discomfort also refines focus. When ease is removed, attention sharpens. You become precise with movement, breath, and decision. Waste disappears. This efficiency transfers beyond the challenge itself. You learn to act cleanly, without excess. Clarity emerges through pressure. Growth through discomfort requires patience. Progress is uneven. Some days feel strong, others fragile. The temptation to quit arises not because you cannot continue, but because results do not appear fast enough. Remaining present during this phase is crucial. Growth often happens quietly beneath the surface before becoming visible. Discomfort teaches humility. It reminds you that strength is developed, not possessed. Each challenge reveals both capability and limitation. Accepting this balance keeps ego in check and learning active. Arrogance avoids challenge. Humility seeks it. Over time, your relationship with discomfort changes. It no longer signals danger, but opportunity. The initial resistance still appears, but it no longer controls behavior. You recognize the familiar tension of growth and step forward anyway. This shift marks true transformation, where effort becomes a trusted ally rather than a threat. Every refined skill, resilient mind, and strong body is shaped by repeated exposure to difficulty handled with awareness. Discomfort is not meant to break you, it is meant to instruct you, strengthen you, and guide you toward a version of yourself that comfort could never create. All of it comes down to a single truth: your life is shaped by what you repeatedly choose when no one is watching. Discipline gives you direction when motivation disappears. Presence gives you control when the mind tries to escape. And discomfort gives you growth when comfort tempts you to stay small. These three are not separate paths, but one practice, lived daily through action, awareness, and courage. When discipline anchors your behavior, presence sharpens your mind, and discomfort becomes your teacher, you stop chasing strength and begin embodying it. You no longer wait for the right mood, the right moment, or the right conditions, because you understand that power is built now, in this breath, in this choice, in this step forward. And the moment you commit to this way of living, there is no finish line. Onel. Why continual refinement?